that was tough. That was a tough one. You know, Kansas is doing a lot of things right now, and you know they're playing their best basketball and they're putting themselves in a position to get in the tournament. And you know, Coach Snyder and Brandon and I have been friends for a really long time, and I'm really happy for him and what he's doing with his program. But man, I felt like that we really gave it away in the third quarter. I thought there was a lot of just we didn't come out of the locker room, and we talked about it in the locker room about just they're going to make some adjustments. We got to be able to get to some shooters if they do start knocking them down. Taking care of the basketball, that was one of our emphasis from the get-go, was taking care of the basketball. They had 0 points off of our turnovers in the first half, and they ended up with 13. I mean, those are just things that I was hoping that we had already learned from some other losses that we've had. And so it's just really unfortunate that our kids had to take another loss for things that I think they could control. I mean, I do think that we could have controlled some things that happened for us. Again, late in the game, I mean, I felt like we still made some big shots, had some opportunity to, had an opportunity to win it at the end, which says a lot about our kids for continuing to fight. But it's just unfortunate that, the third quarter was so dismal for us.
Bryn, kind of like Coach said, the third quarter is kind of where it all went downhill. What was the difference in pressure that Kansas was giving you guys that kind of resulted to that?
I mean, they were just closer to us in terms of pressure. Like, I didn't feel like they changed a lot. They were just told to play harder, and they did, and we didn't respond.
And as for that adjustment into the fourth quarter, you guys started doing a lot better in the fourth quarter. What was your adjustment, as a team?
We got back to just our pace, I think. Like, we started pushing the ball a little bit more and just letting it flow rather than forcing things. And, we needed to let what we were doing in the first half flow into the second, and it took us a quarter to figure it out.
Coach, what was Kansas able to do offensively in the second half that y'all were able to limit in the first half?
Well, they had some kids that we were trying to get to shoot the basketball in the first half that they did, and they weren't knocking them down. And then they had those kids step up and they knocked them down. They hit some back-to-back threes, and they got some offensive rebounds too that they weren't getting in the first half. That I thought we did a great job on the boards in the first half. I think we were beating them pretty bad on the boards actually, and they ended up beating us on the boards for the game. So that shows you right there just that they played with a little bit more intensity and urgency in the third quarter particularly. There were lots of balls being bounced around that they ended up coming up with, and those are things that we can't let happen, and especially when you have a lead. You've got to cut down the second chance opportunities that you give them.
And how tough was it matching up with Jackson, number one?
Yeah, well, with our small lineup, it is tough. And I thought we did a decent job with her. There were some things that we knew she was going to get loose on that were going to be difficult for us. And I thought that, we could rotate in some height on her as well. But really, I don't feel like she was really the difference. I did think that she got some nice looks, some easy looks, just because we were trying to take away some other spots. But she does pose a problem for us, at 6'6".
Do you have anything else for Bryn before we move on to more questions for Coach? Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bryn.
Krista, on their go-ahead bucket at the end, were you looking for him to go down low to Jackson? Were you a little, not surprised, but a different type of play instead of going down deep to Jackson?
Yeah, no, we anticipated that they were going to drive it at us, and we were trying to, make sure the right people were on the floor that we knew that they would that they wouldn't attack as much. We knew that there were certain kids that they've definitely targeted, and so we tried to adjust that. And I thought that we did a decent job of that, and then they just made a good play. I thought that they made a good play and got to the rim.
Earlier this week, Bob Schneider elected into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. He was here today, and you took his place, your first head coaching job at WT. Would you talk about the influence of Bob Schneider on the game of women's basketball?
Absolutely. He's the pioneer of girls basketball for West Texas, no doubt. An incredible leader, incredible mentor, coach. I grew up going to his basketball camps, grew up with his family. My dad, and there's a collection of them that are all great friends that that we've just known for a really long time. But, you know, I really think he's the one that got women's basketball to be so popular in West Texas. It's because of the camps that he had, the emphasis he had on fundamentals in West Texas. And it just gave girls at a very young age an opportunity to play a sport and to play it well. And he does such a good job on that. And I think it's long overdue that he's being inducted. I think he should have been inducted a long time ago. But, man, I'm so happy for him and happy for his family as well.
Coach, you talked about it yesterday. You wanted to get Vivian more touches early on. It seemed like the first half you guys really did that. What was the game plan coming into today?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, she's playing at a really high level, and so we want to give her as many opportunities as we can. And I think, you know, you saw in the second half she really struggled to find the basket. She's still got some really good looks. I think her legs were probably a little bit, you know, heavy just because she's put a lot of miles on them right over the last week. But she still, I thought she really willed herself to that last and one to be able to get us ahead and when she hadn't been shooting the ball well. And then it was just unfortunate the last play, you know, that she didn't get the call. But yeah, I mean, I think she got some really good looks tonight, and you know, we're going to continue to do that. She's working really hard to get those, and her teammates are working really hard to help her get them.
And then what's been impressive about Riley's progression over the season, how she's starting to become a major contributor for this team?
Yeah, Riley has, you know, 'cause she's kind of gone through that freshman year. Like you start off really well, and then you kind of hit a little bit of a wall, and then you kind of push through it. And I think she's definitely pushing through it right here. You know, she's a great shooter and great jump shooter, and we try to get her in some situations where she can knock down some shots. And I was really proud of her because she didn't shoot the ball well against OU, but she came out today and really looked for her shot and knocked down some big ones. And I mean, she's a competitor. There's no doubt about that. So she's got some great basketball ahead of her, and really glad that she's so young.
Anything else for Coach Hayes? All right, Coach, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.